There is a river near an old monastery hidden among the mountains. Every morning, an elderly monk would sit beside its flowing waters and watch the current pass. The same river, the same rocks, the same trees, and yet not a single drop of water was ever the same. One day, a young traveller approached him and asked, "Master, why do you spend so much time watching a river?" The monk smiled and replied, "Because it reminds me how life works." The traveller looked confused. The river seemed ordinary. The monk pointed toward the flowing water. "You believe the river remains the same because you give it one name. But everything within it is constantly changing." The monk paused. "And so are you." This is the heart of Meditations, Book 4. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly returns to a simple but profound truth. Everything changes. Not some things, not most things. Everything. The seasons change. The weather changes. Cities rise and fall. Empires are built and forgotten. Children become adults. Adults become memories. Even the thoughts passing through your mind right now will soon disappear. Yet, despite living in a world defined by change, many of us spend our lives resisting it. We cling to old versions of ourselves. We cling to relationships that have already transformed. We cling to moments we wish could last forever. And in doing so, we create suffering. Not because change is painful, but because resistance is painful. Marcus observed this everywhere. People wished time would stop. They wished youth would remain. They wished success would last forever. They wished difficult moments would never arrive. Yet nature never agreed to these terms. The universe continues moving, whether we accept it or not. There is another story told among monks. A student once discovered a beautiful flower blooming beside a mountain path. Every day he visited it. Every day he admired it. And every day he worried. What if it dies? What if the wind destroys it? What if winter comes? The flower became a source of anxiety rather than joy. Weeks later, he returned to find the blossom gone. The petals had fallen. The season had changed. Heartbroken, he sought advice from his teacher. The old monk listened carefully, then asked a simple question. "Did you love the flower?" "Of course," replied the student. "Then why spend so much time mourning the fact that it followed its nature?" The student remained silent. The monk continued. "Would you demand that autumn remain summer? Would you command the moon to stop moving? Would you ask a river to stop flowing?" The student slowly understood. The flower had not betrayed him. The flower had simply obeyed the laws of life. And perhaps much of our suffering comes from expecting permanence in a world built upon transformation. Marcus invites us to see something larger, not merely ourselves, not merely our problems, but the cosmos itself. When we look at our lives from a broader perspective, many of our worries begin to shrink. The Stoics believed that every human being is part of a greater whole, like leaves on the same tree, like waves belonging to the same ocean, like stars moving through the same night sky. We often imagine ourselves as isolated individuals fighting against reality. Marcus saw something different. He saw human beings as participants in a vast and interconnected universe. And when we understand this, change begins to feel less like an enemy. After all, change is not something happening to the universe. Change is the universe. The stars change. The oceans change. The forests change. The mountains slowly change. Why should our lives be any different? The monk beside the river understood this. Each morning he watched the current move downstream. He never tried to stop it. He never demanded that yesterday's water return. Instead, he appreciated the beauty of what existed in that moment. Perhaps that is the lesson Marcus wants us to learn. To stop demanding permanence from temporary things. To stop fearing every transformation. To stop measuring life by what remains unchanged. Because life itself is movement. Growth is movement. Wisdom is movement. And peace often arrives when we finally move with reality rather than against it. One day, every problem troubling us today will belong to the past. One day, every success we celebrate will also become part of history. Everything passes. Everything transforms. And strangely, there is comfort in that. Because if difficult moments cannot last forever, neither can suffering. If winter eventually becomes spring, then hardship eventually becomes growth. So the next time life changes in ways you did not expect, remember the river, remember the flower, remember the stars, and remember that you are not standing outside the flow of nature. You are part of it. The river does not resist the ocean. The seasons do not resist time. And perhaps true peace begins when we stop resisting change as well. If this reflection resonated with you, write below. What change in your life seemed painful at first, but ultimately helped you become who you are today? Subscribe to Why We Think, and together we'll continue exploring the timeless wisdom that helps us navigate life with greater clarity, acceptance, and peace.